Welcome back to the Arc Path.
My name is Bernard,
And I'm Casey.
and we have some bad news for all of you today.
And the bad news is not that we showed up wearing matching colored shirts.
No.
That's not the bad news. We actually don't mind that. What's the bad news?
The bad news is there is a storm on the horizon,
Oh my goodness.
and the last storm on the horizon killed off all of the dinosaurs of that era.
Yeah, we're not talking just about a little a weather blurb on the radar.
No.
You're recognizing cataclysmic storm levels are coming.
Correct.
And we're taking it back to the Ice Age. Did you
Yes.
watch that Ice Age movie? Did your kids miss that one?
The cartoon?
The cartoon?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So this is where we're at. We're just inviting you in to recognize that you've all seen this. You have seen the movie of the Ice Age, or you went to school and you heard it, and you all accepted it.
Yes.
That when something was too old, too irrelevant, too unnecessary for the world to continue, it got wiped out.
Yes.
And that's the bad news
That's the bad news.
because it's about to happen again.
It's happening right now. It's happening right now. And what's funny is I'm going to go back in time and the voices, if the dinosaurs could speak, the voices are there's something bad here. We're
Yeah.
this new generation is not going to make it.
Beware.
Beware.
We know what's about to happen and you're not ready for it.
Correct. I'm
So-
big and bad. We're going to weather the storm, but nobody else is prepared.
Mm. And so let's start with a confession, Bernard. Are we dinosaurs?
Oh.
I mean, let's just go to the heart of the matter.
I think anybody that doesn't recognize that there's a kingdom reality in today's world where people matter and are connected together, then they are dinosaurs. They are dinosaurs, and we're going to elaborate on that. That I know that wasn't a very thoroughly explainable
Mhm.
sentence, but the reality is, if you're one of those people that's saying this new generation is this, and if we can just go back, or if we can just do that, you're a dinosaur.
I'm really concerned about this upcoming generation and the way they might parent. I'm really concerned about this current generation and their lack of work ethic. I'm really concerned about the erosion of character and value. It seems to me like it's just not quite the way it needs to be. I'm really concerned.
Yes. Yes.
Those are dinosaur statements.
Yes. Yes. And they lead to toxic conversations. I haven't
Mhm.
had one where it was helpful or enjoyable on any level.
Mhm.
It's they just become these spirals, and they just terminate into hopelessness. They
Mm.
begin, in my perspective, they begin in hopelessness, and they end in utter hopelessness.
So we brought confession.
Yes.
We have the tendency to have a dinosaur thinking perspective.
Yes.
We are aware of it. It's why we're here on the podcast going, is there any hope?
Yes.
And guess what? There's hope.
There's hope.
We do believe in hope, and we're going to get to the hope of the arc path. But we also recognize that it's not simply about, oh, well, victimization. We are dinosaurs, and we no longer have an impact. We just
Correct.
have to ride the wave of the new generation.
Yes.
Well, I guess we're done now.
And which is huge. So many people that I know are just giving up.
Mm.
I can't communicate. I can't contend. I can't do this. And I'm going to just isolate in my own world. I know what I need. I'm going to go to my favorite restaurant, have my favorite meal, drive my favorite thing, do my favorite. And I'm going to live in this isolation and let this new generation sort
Mm.
itself out.
I love that you just pulled in the last podcast on favor versus favorites into what you just said. And we become dinosaurs when we live into the favorite mentality.
Yes.
I'm smart enough. I've been here around long enough. I have enough money. I no longer need favor. I've got my bunker built.
Yeah. Love that.
And I'm going to live in my favorite bunker.
That was the word. I was looking for that word. I just found it. I'm gonna write it down.
So we're not living in denial. We're above the line and taking responsibility for our choices. We're not living in blame, which is below the line, and saying it's this generation's fault. We're coming into accountability and choosing to be connected and in community with this generation and our generation. It doesn't matter what our generation is. We're just not the new generation. Let's just leave it at that. And we're not kind of living into the place I said. It's not denial. It's not blame, and it's not excuse. Oh, well, it's just the way it is, that victim concept. It's actually stepping in and recognizing there's an ownership about what we know as quote unquote dinosaurs,
Yes.
and stewarding that knowledge and that wisdom and that experience in a way that it becomes um, applicable or palatable. We're not pushing it through.
No.
We're actually in the wisdom, and I'm just going to carry this out in the wisdom. We're letting go of our way. We're letting go of it's got to be this way. The concept I will bring in the arc path is we get to the kingdom, and in the kingdom there is favor and there is mercy, and it is abundant.
Yes.
And the very mercy that is new and available. The dinosaur says, I will have mercy on the new generation, otherwise, they pay the price.
Yes.
The one who says, I'm a dinosaur, but I'm not giving up, says, the mercy for me is sufficient today.
Yes.
I am going to struggle to adapt and to be made new, but I'm not giving up.
Yes. I'm gonna. That was a lot.
That was so much. It was so good.
I'm
Thank
and
you.
I'm sorry. I should have stopped him.
No, you thought about it
I
twice and
thought
you let
about
it
it
go.
twice. I'm like, okay, let it go through because he got to the end.
Mm,
And let's go back to the beginning.
yes.
And the beginning was responsibility.
Hmm.
Out of the that myriad, that concept, it's responsibility and ownership.
It always is.
Yes, we because what Casey's saying is that we have a responsibility to take all of our knowledge and experience and keep mentoring this new generation. But they don't think like us. They don't act like us. They don't want what we have. You don't know. You don't know. You know what you know. They're not like you. Thank
Hmm.
God they're not like you. And they're not better than you. They're just different. And so it takes a combination of who we are and who they are. And who they are is a function of the environment that we built.
And I want to. They're not like you. It goes both ways. So you might be a Generation Z, a millennial, something we haven't labeled yet because we as the dinosaurs like to label. That might be you, and they are not like you, or it's the other way. You're a boomer buster, something much older, and we don't need to get in all the categories. It doesn't even matter. But what I'm saying is, all of us are yous and theys until we become an us, and we become to say, look, we are
Yes.
community,
Yes.
and we are better together rather than dividing us. We come into alignment to say, how do we acknowledge what's available in the wisdom that is emerging out of a generation that in the last 23 years has seen more transition, more death, more suffering, more emptiness and hopelessness than the generation before?
Yes.
And we go, but you know what? The generation before, they saw more than this generation.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
go, oh, so we're not labeling anybody.
Well, because again, the idea that you know, to sit here in this in an older generation and to blame this new generation, the blame is on us. We built the every generation builds something. Our politics, our religion, our understanding, our ethics, our businesses built the environment. We propagated these schools. Hey, go to school, spend $200,000-300,000 in debt, and learn whatever they teach you. Are you sure? Did you vet out the values of your school? Oh, well, why are my kids like this? Well,
Hmm.
where did you send them? What are they teaching? And these concepts of politics, and it's just we built this environment. So to go, well, what's the product? What's the byproduct of this environment? Is the way this generation thinks and lives, and it's on us to again. It's not bad. It's not good. It just is. It's just what are we? What is our responsibility to continue to mentor? And we're gonna pull that word into this because mentoring is owning, is taking responsibility. If we stop mentoring, we are the dinosaurs. I'm gonna put those two together. If we stop mentoring, you have a label. If you don't know anybody, if you don't have the energy or the insight to mentor anybody today, you're a dinosaur. And I've gone too long.
I'm apology because there's something in your definition of mentoring that I just want to highlight. The mentor is not a one-way.
Yes, I was gonna that was the part that I was gonna finish. And if you're not open to being
Being
mentored,
mentored,
you're a bigger dinosaur. You're a
yes.
bigger, but I think that's less prevalent. I think everybody says, well, I'm open to learning.
I'm a learner.
I'm a
Yeah,
learner.
yeah.
Yes.
That's
And
a catchphrase
eh,
because leaders are learners.
yes. And how well of a mentor are you? How well do you mentor people? Well, people just don't get me. I'm so different and unique. People just don't get me.
Hmm.
Dinosaur, you are a dinosaur. I'm calling you out. I'm calling myself out.
He's looking at himself in the
I'm looking
reflection.
at.
Yeah, yeah. I know
I
you
love
are.
Casey. I love Casey.
He's not looking at me. Thank goodness
No,
right now.
no. Oh my gosh,
You are a dinosaur.
you are a
Just
dinosaur.
pointing back at ourselves.
Yes, I love that.
Um, as Bernard brings in the mentorship concept, it's the community. It is the accountability to say, this doesn't do any good if Bernard and I are just critiquing current culture and saying, up, the old is gone, the new is here. Let's just adopt the new. We miss out.
Yes.
If we choose to isolate and separate in division, there's no arc path.
Yes.
There's no acknowledgement. There's no healing. There's no restoration. There's no celebration. And what really we're bringing today is we're going to celebrate today that the mercy is new. It's fresh. The favor is abundant. The opportunity is before us right here, right now. There has never been a time when we are more prepared and equipped to make change. There has never been a time that I've never been smarter than I am in this moment right now. But the same thing is true for every single person listening.
Yes.
And so when we begin to look up and acknowledge everybody has more experience, more knowledge, more awareness, more of it's available than ever before, and they simply need to be acknowledged. That's true for me. That's true for you. And now we come into community to learn.
Yes. Love that.
Welcome to the Arc Path.
Love that. What an important paradigm to submit yourself to a community that needs you, and that you're gonna learn from, and you're gonna pour into this community. Just imagine that transaction. I'm talking about your household, your children,
Mm.
your spouse. I'm talking about your parents. Oh, my parents are old. They're even worse off than I am. They have so much wisdom. They have so much
Mhm.
insight. Guys, they've seen it before many more times than you have. And then we move forward into our political space, into our business space,
Mm.
our religion space, healthcare. I mean, it's every segment of our lives. What is our community made of? And I'm gonna pass it back to you.
So I'm going to pivot. I
Okay.
want to give another lens on the dinosaur mentality.
I'm
Um,
gonna put my cup down.
you put your cup down. Um, we aren't very we talk about dinosaurs as if we're old and then there's this new generation. We're
Yes.
so different. We're not
Yes.
so different.
Correct.
By design, humanity is very simple.
Yes.
We make relationships complex and then we look through that lens to try to figure out what's wrong with us. We're simple. Our bodies are simple, scientific, biological. There are simple things we can look at to say you do X and Y happens in our body.
Yes.
The same thing is true with our mind, and we're learning more and more that the mind is not fixed. It's it's neuroplasticity. It's a sense of we can constantly learn new things in our mind,
Irrespective of age.
irrespective of age.
Yes.
And then in our heart, in the same way, the desire for passion, the desire for purpose, it never dies. And so we talk about midlife crisis as if somebody gets to this midlife place and then, oh, something's wrong. And then we talk about retirement as if I could only get to retirement and do nothing. And then most people get to retirement and they go, I just don't want to do nothing.
Yes.
Why? Because in your heart is a longing to contribute and have purpose. So I just highlighted, you're not, just because you're older. I know so many people in their 80s and 90s that are doing more physical activity and able to achieve more in the physical realm than those in their 50s and 60s. Something happens in the 50s and 60s to people's bodies that they begin to believe the lie. I'm older now, so
Therefore,
this is just what I
yeah.
have to embrace. It's lies, it's hogwash, whatever you want to say. Here's the summary of that, and I'll give it back to you. Dinosaurs aren't happening because of time.
Oh,
Time is irrelevant.
love that.
It's
Love
about
that.
choice. Your
Mm,
body, your mind, and your heart does not age with time. It ages by acceptance of that you are a victim of time. Boy, I just dropped that.
oh,
And this is why we're addressing this today. Don't become a dinosaur in your body, in your mind, in your heart. Find the
yes.
new mercy, find the new favor, find the new hope. And where we find that, and take this from me, please, it's along the arc path.
Oh, I love that. And yes, it is along the arc path. I think the just this concept of lifestyle path to better choices. I mean, it's you have something, your life experience is so unique and rare because there's only one of you. And your community needs that one perspective. They need that lens just as much as you need the lenses that are out there. And but again, it's just, are you equipped? Are you ready? Do you have an open mind? Can you acknowledge that I need somebody? I have you been around some of the youth and go, what is, without from a judgment lens, take that away and then engage and see what you
Mm,
get.
mm.
It is amazing. But again, we've put a lot of hurt on this new generation, and we and it's a reflection on our own hurts. If again, we don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but
It's why we need healing in the arc
it's
path.
why we all need
If we
healing.
don't encounter healing, we become hurt people who hurt people.
Yes.
And great book, but just a concept here that the dinosaur defends their territory because they have something to lose.
Mm.
Um,
Outdated thinking, for those of you that didn't get that part. That's what they have to
they
lose.
have,
Outdated, dysfunctional thinking.
yeah.
And who wants to admit they're dysfunctional? I can make my own life work the way I want. See, I'm not dysfunctional.
So let me make it practical. My son is 20, and he's studying a discipline that he looks at what's available in college and says, "Dad, it's outdated."
Mm.
It's in the realm of science and medicine. And he says, I can learn through this podcast and through this mastermind group more relative information that is immediately applicable rather than studying and paying a lot of money to get a degree that tells me what was researched and declared 40 years ago.
So true.
So, do I need to go to college, Dad? And I said, hey, that piece of paper on your wall, it might mean something in 20 years, it might not. I'd love you to finish because you have time.
Yeah.
See that time thing? I'm a dinosaur thinker. I just calling myself out. I just thought like a dinosaur. You have time now, you might not have time later. But I love that the embrace, and this is where Bernard and I were chatting before, the embrace for my son is to say, get your education on TikTok.
Yes.
Get your education in a podcast. Get your education in a mastermind group. Pay money. This is another podcast. Pay money to sit and be mentored by somebody who doesn't have a degree,
Love that.
but who is successful today.
Love that. And that's what we're inviting you all into, is mentorship. Get out there, mentor someone. If we want to help this new generation course correct,
Mm,
not that they're on judging, saying they're on a different course, but with the older generations and the new generations combined, we can get to a better destination. And what we believe is, it's not my way or the highway. It's not your way. There is a kingdom destination
mm,
where there is contentment in people's lives, community, and it's relational. I mean, who thought about that? It's, love each other, be good to each other, be kind to each other, help each other, serve each other. And can we find contentment in this lifetime? But if we just judge each other, we are going the way of the dinosaurs fast.
So I want to pivot one more time, and I want to get personal. I want to get practical. Bernard, your trade is jewelry,
Yes.
luxury jewelry design. How many generations in your family line have done jewelry?
Four on my dad's side, three on my mom's side.
Okay, and get personal. When did you graduate college? How old were you?
I was 20 years old.
Okay,
Yeah,
and you went through and you got done, and then but you got into the field before.
way before. Yeah,
Way before.
way
I mean,
before.
I'm
Yeah,
highlighting that for somebody who doesn't know. He went to college because you're supposed to, but you
correct,
were a fourth generation jeweler who was mentored in the trade before you went to college.
correct.
But you went to college. Good job. Now, all that to say, that was a little while ago.
Yes,
In your business today, are you still working in luxury jewelry design?
yes.
How much of your business today looks like your business looked like 4 years ago?
Zero.
And that's not an exaggeration, and I knew the answer, so I set it up. Uh, but I didn't tell you I was going to ask you that at all.
Yes.
0% of your business model and your business design today is what it looked like 4 years ago.
Correct.
And the only way that's possible is because you were willing to accept new mercy, new wineskin, new understanding, new growth, new models. You said the people are different, life is different, business is different, everything is different. I will adapt and change, or I will not, and I will die.
Yeah, yeah, there is, I mean, the choice, and many people in our industry pivoted, and some people just they're retrenched. They just dug in deep. I'm gonna dig in for the long haul. We've seen this. It's just a rough time. I'm just gonna dig. I'm gonna just anchor myself, and it's gonna pass. um there is no pass. The paradigm, it's not just for the sake of doing something different.
Correct.
It's business supply lines change, finances, economics, I mean, environmental factors, social factors, everything changed. And so it's, how are you willing to change to serve? Not, again, if it's just for my own benefit, and if you have the money, why do I need to change? I have money. I don't need to change. If you don't have money, well, you have to get comfortable in your discomfort
Mm-hmm.
and not change. Or you can go, well, why change? Is so we can serve the community.
Letting that sink. I want to take it to you. You, our listener. How long will it take you to reinvent your story today? If you started today believing that there was another life for you, another expression of you, a deeper level of purpose for you, a passion that you long to go after, how long would it take you to reinvent yourself? Um, this is the answer to that question. It really reveals your dinosaur quality. Can I change my entire life based on one decision today? Absolutely.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it's easier to see that happen in a negative decision.
Yes.
Go out and kill somebody.
Yes.
Go out and kill yourself. Go out and do something in a drastic negative form that causes harm, loss, suffering, pain. Increase those things and you'll see your life change on a dime. Now, the principle to that is the same thing holds true above the line on the arc path. One decision today can completely change everything, and it doesn't have to take the next 40 years.
Yes.
When you begin to embrace that, walk the arc path, acknowledge what's available, heal in the moment, you don't have to go back and heal everything in the past. You are in a present moment. We can heal in this present moment. Ask us more, another podcast later. Restoration is to build and grow. You might need to learn something.
Yes.
A new trade, a new skill, a new mentorship, discipleship steps you into the kingdom, and this is what's available for you. We wanted you to hear today. There's a reason why dinosaurs are extinct. They are no longer necessary. We are choosing to invite you to an arc path experience that says that you have a contribution,
Yes.
and we want to walk it out with you.
Love that. What a celebration that is. There's so much joy in that conversation. There's so much hope in that conversation. I think that's, if that's something that you desire, then reach out. Reach out. That I mean, we have from team building. We have, I mean, the amount of programming that's available. But the one thing that we offer is community. Get into the art group. See, what is this community about? What is the what are the conversations that we're having? And because that's the only thing that we can help mentor you in. We can give you content and books and movies and whatever it is. At the end of the day, it's, how does it live out? Relational is where it's at, and that's the ultimate desire and goal of the Arc Path, is for us to help each other move into a new era.
So thanks for joining us today on a new direction, a new leaf, a new chapter, a new way forward. This is what ARC is all about. Come discover your lifestyle path to better choices. The better choice is the new one you're going to make tomorrow. So
Love
let's
that.
start today.
Love that. Thank you.
Have a great day.